In this video, we'll be going through several of the Abyss sections and getting all the way to the second part of the Precipice of Truth, which is where I'm stuck for now as I haven't completed enough of the story yet. Grab a drink, snag a snack, and strap in. This is a long one, folks. So after climbing the Spire of Insight, you will find yourself in the Abyss Chaos Forest. This is another puzzle that involves those weird computer chip parts similar to the beginning Abyss puzzles at the start of the game. After opening the door with Nature's Grasp, you will see a computer chip and a slot for one covered by brambles. Melt away the brambles to open up the computer chip slot. There's also a spot that is kind of on fire. We can use that area to get across the chasm, or we can take the pillars on the left and go up a bunch of tree roots to get up, but I suggest the burning wreckage spot as it has the computer chip we're going to need in a second anyway. Once across, there's an area on the left hand side of this large floating platform with brambles on it. Burn away the brambles and jump down. Nature's Grasp this door up into the air and go in. Inside you're going to find another one of these chips and a slot for it. Not a very difficult part. However, it's not this part, slotting the chip that is tricky for this room. Move the chip in place with the Axum force. You can either climb up on the chip or build a little tower with the carryable boxes to slap that guy home. Note these boxes, they're going to come in handy in just a second. Once the chip is in place, it's time to play with the boxes. This is the part that had me spend an hour running around the zone trying to figure it out. The wire that goes from this chip runs across the door in this room and requires you to stop the door at a certain height to work. Snag a box, line it up under the door like so, and once it closes, crouch and head back out with this half of the puzzle completed. The rest of this puzzle is pretty simple. Burn any brambles you come across to make sure power flows nicely and so you can walk through. Snag the chip on the burning platform, maneuver it to the starting platform and empty chip slot and slam it home. Head over to slam the giant button in. Note that it does blast you backwards when you force palm it, so be prepared to glide to safety. I had to fly back to the burning platform as Cliff decided he did not want to climb cliffs for a minute here. With that done, head up to collect your artifact and then it's time to head around back into the right to begin traveling to the next zone. If you forgot since last time, since you've been in the Abyss, like I did, you use the Axum force on that tiny little circle on the pillar to continue. Next, it's time to bring out your old Super Mario skills as we have some platforming to do. It's a pretty simple platforming puzzle, though this second set of platforms does have like a few bricks that will fall out from under you, so watch out for that. If you do fall, once you glide to the ground, you can always open your map and press middle mouse button on PC to swap back to the Abyss map, and teleport straight back to the front of the jump puzzle. You can also just glide across the horizontal elevator brick here, as if you use Force Palm Strike Jump Up, it gives you enough air to get across, as long as you have sufficient stamina. Get to the other side, stand in the teleport tube, and wait for Scotty to beam you up. If you didn't get that one, ask your dad, he'll probably know. If needed, you can go back up the Spire of Insight as well, though it's a bit goofy with the button in the elevator if you miss the first trip up. After getting teleported, jump up the trees and find your way to the Abyss Nexus for this zone. Don't make the mistake I did and log off right before finding this teleporter, as you will have to do the jump puzzle again. Once it's logged, you're ready to start Puzzle Zone 2, the Roots of Truth. First, use the stab attack technique to get through this waterfall ahead of you, then take a left. Climb up the pillars to reach the first part of the puzzle. Ahead of you, you will see what looks to be an insanely deadly combo, with a rapidly spinning windmill platformer thingy and a series of lasers blocking you from jumping over a small gap. However, you can ignore literally all of that. Simply climb these pillars here on the left and glide over. Job done. puzzle! Instead of going the whole way up the stairs, you can climb around the side on the pillars here, avoiding more traps and puzzle mechanics that I personally didn't bother spending any time learning when I can just go around them. Parkour your way to the top and you'll find a new computer chip slot awaiting its glorious blue chip. To the right of the chip slot, you will see a strange, thin horizontal hole in the ground. Meander on over to it to find your chip below. Jump on down and begin wiggling the chip with the janky Axiom Force game physics through the holes to pop it back out on top. You can also go back through these holes yourself, so just ignore all the force palm rotating doors along the sides. I would also suggest getting out of the hole first before trying to navigate the chip through that part, as the camera angle in here while using Axiom Force is abysmally bad. Once you angled the chip out of the hole, float it over and slap it in place. Now the first windmill thingy of death is active. Yay! Once again, we'll ignore the windmills entirely. Head over to the right and glide across the gap. Head up the pillar to find a small loot chest with a little bit of loot in it. Nothing crazy, but hey, free loot. Clamber up the pillar, run across and up the tree trunk, past the spot where the artifact will show up eventually, and off to the far side, we'll find another chip below us. Jump down to the great thing, then jump down to this tree, and you should see the hole in the computer chip's little prison here. Head over to it and jimmy the chip out of the hole and float it out. Bring it up with you across the waterfall. Float that chip over, slap it into its spot, and you're ready to climb up and slap that big old button of victory. It's a bit of a climb, so if you're struggling with stamina, you can go all the way back to the artifact location and sort of carefully drop down a bit. Congratulations, you've completed the Root of Truth and are ready for the third section in this insanely long series of puzzles. After snagging your artifact, head back to the walkway and get your Mario Brothers hat back on. It's time for some more platforming. The first set should be pretty easy to navigate. Again, if you fall, just teleport back up to the beginning of the puzzle. After the first horizontal brick elevator, you can skip the second one by palm striking into the air and gliding over, if you don't mind doing a little bit of climbing. The next section, after another short horizontal elevator brick, has a series of platforms that move back and forth. The first two will stop in front of the starting platform to get you started. The second set, however, does not neatly stop in front of you, so you will have to time a jump over to it. Then again, the third step will stop neatly in front of you, and then the fourth set will not, so again, time a jump across the fourth one. The fifth one will also not stop neatly in front of you, so you'll have one more time jump, but after that, they all line up so you'll be able to sprint across. Just make sure to stop on a platform before they rearrange themselves again if you don't make it in one sprint. Depending on how far you get, you can always use our favorite glide across or palm strike up and glide across method too. After the moving platforms, you should be able to easily make it to the teleporter and get beamed up once again to the next sector we'll be facing in the abyss. Welcome to the Precipice of Truth, Part 1. Snag your Abyss Nexus and either goof with the mini jump puzzle or do the smart thing and just glide across from the cliff next to you. Ahead will be a weird blue turret with pillars that come down to protect it. Snag it with Axiom Force and either stow it with the cuckoo pod or bring it with you. Watch out for falling rocks when you snag it though, as they do hurt a little bit. Follow the path until you reach this weird Mirage wall thingy. You'll see a floating blue conductor pillar inside. To open that wall, use the power core you brought and pop it onto the cube nearby. When it's close enough, it will remove the Mirage wall. Once you have the conductor out, you can retrieve your power core as well. If you need an extra core, there is one on top of the Mirage wall outcropping. Once you have the conductor, add it to the slot on the right. Note, you do have to hit it from the side as opposed to above, even if it looks like you need to hit it from above. This will activate a fan thing similar to the updrafts from Guild Wars 2 if you've played that. Jump in and glide up to the next section. Here we'll have 2 computer chips to grab and 2 more slots to put them in. Each chip has a slot on its side of the gully, so no need to try to drag it across as I did like a big doofus. To begin, walk to your right and either jump or glide over to the elevator wall. Head up to find the first pillar and another Mirage wall. If you don't have a cuckoo pot, there is one of the weird turret things here for you to snag, and it is still probably best to destroy the turret so it isn't trying to pop you while you're working on the puzzle. Once you have the chip out, take it with you and carefully hop down to some of the platforms on the right to find a mini jumping puzzle that you have to take the chip across. Float the chip into place, jump across, and slam them home. Now cross back to the other side and use the same trick to free the other chip. If you don't have a cuckoo pot, you may have to maneuver the first power core across the gap. Once you have it out, position it above yourself and take the floating elevator up. Drop the chip home and slap it into place, and it's finally time to go slap the big button of victory. Clamber up, slap it, and go claim your relic further on up. Now we have a series of small jumps to get to the top of this particular zone. Get to this platform and you can either wait for the floaty elevator to arrive or go ham climbing the cliffs like I did because I'm impatient. Either way, keep climbing until you reach the bridge exit. I did goof around up here a little bit but did not see a chest, so if there is one, someone please make sure to let us know in the comments. However, this is where things stop being fun and become infuriatingly confusing. Running up to the door, you'll find it locked, requiring you to restore Root's End to activate the Skybridge. Huh? At least where I was at in the story, I had absolutely no idea what Root's End even was. It was not on my Abyss map, nothing I'd done so far alluded to it whatsoever, and this is where I was stuck. I had to pull up a quick guide to find out that Root's End is actually an Abyss section on the opposite side of this Abyss path. To get there, teleport over and across to the original Abyss puzzle area you completed in the story chapters, forever ago probably. Ah yes. Remember this place where the weird spirit people told you need to yeet yourself off a cliff? Anyway, run to and activate this Skybridge on the opposite side of the puzzle area, and it's time to embody Mario once again. Complete the first mini parkour puzzle. From here, those floating platforms will form a long bridge and then unform it over and over and over again. There are no gaps until the end, so feel free to just sprint along, stopping periodically to wait for the bridge to reform. Don't get greedy and you should be just fine. Get beamed up and get ready for a bit more parkour. Once again, we're gonna have another of these reforming bridges. Just sprint across it and do a bit more easy parkour until you're on this platform. From here, you have a nice, long, relaxing, horizontal elevator ride with 2 stops on the way. From this point, the bricks will break underneath you. Sprint along them and jump glide for the main island and head up the stairs for your Abyss Nexus. Head on up to the top and you'll see a bit of a structure in the center of the water with a grate. Again, I didn't see any secret chests around here, but if you found one, make sure to post it in the comments for the rest of us. Head over to this grate and use a downward force palm to shove the door open and prepare for a wild ride. This is what the kids call a dropper, I think. Anyway, pretend like you're James Bond and drop down avoiding the lasers. They hurt. This is probably the most lethal part of the entire Abyss puzzles section so far. You can start gliding to get a bit of time to line yourself up for the next gap though. It will be beneficial if you can land on, there's a floating brick near the floating blue conductor pillar. It will make the next part a lot easier if you're next to it. We need to get that conductor pillar into the slot at the bottom of the dropper. If you didn't land on that brick that I mentioned, it can be a bit of a pain. For some reason, a lot of the surfaces in this room seem to be difficult to get Cliff to start climbing. Eventually though, and I'm not exactly sure what happened here, I managed to get Cliff to kind of goat his way up and then climb up this pipe to stand on, which put me in range to snag the conductor. It's a simple matter of drop palming it into place to activate the teleporter once you have it down. Beam up once more. After the dropper and infuriatingly high up conductor pillar, the devs decided to let you have an easy one. Slap it into place, slap that victory button of grandeur, and claim your artifact. Drop down to open up the next Skybridge. Oh yes, there's more. Put on your Mario Brothers hat one last time for tonight. We got another jump puzzle to beat. You can avoid this slow-moving elevator by gliding, just don't do it like I did by missing the extremely easy jump to the elevator. Less panic-inducing that way. Once you get to this final platform, let it reach the top and leap off to glide over to the teleporter. Now that you've completed Route's End as well, you will be teleported back over to the Precipice of Truth. Having gone to the Skybridge before, you should be able to teleport to it. Activating this one, however, gives you a single final teleporter. This will take you to the second part of the Precipice of Truth. After a small elevator ride and one more of these rearranging bridges, you will find yourself in a spot where you will be stuck until you've completed enough story chapters. I'm finishing up chapter 4, so I'm not 100% certain which chapter unlocks the next piece here, but if you know, go ahead and let us know in the comments and I'll go ahead and add that in. Wow, that is a doozy of a series of puzzles. Thanks for watching the whole way through. Please make sure to like and subscribe if this was helpful for you, and if you have any additional secrets you found while going through here, make sure to let us know in the comments. In addition, if you have other Crimson Desert questions, make sure to ask those as well.